That's right.
Discount off.
I call this regular meeting of the Mexico City Council to order.
Councilman Miller,
Yes.
Councilman Lush,
Yes.
Mayor Miller,
Yes.
Councilman Nichols,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Williams,
Yes.
Okay, the first item on the agenda is approval of minutes from the February 8th, 2016 regular session.
Move for approval?
Second.
Councilman Miller,
Abstain?
Councilman Lush,
Yes.
Mayor Miller,
Yes.
Councilman Nichols,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Williams,
Yes.
Under new business, the first item, resolution, bill number 2016-10, a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with Horner and Schifrin Incorporated for the mapping of the sanitary sewer collection system. Reading and passage. Mr. Slagle?
Yes, Your Honor. We have had an ongoing effort of mapping and inspecting the sewers, and this takes us another step further. And to cover the details, we will turn to Kenzie Russell.
Council may recall that about 4 years ago, we contracted with Horner and Schifrin to help us set up a GIS system, a Geographic Information System, and one of the first layers of that mapping was our sanitary sewer layer. Since that time, we've added some other layers. We have the zoning, we have stormwater, but we only at that time got about between a third and a half of the city sewer collection system mapped. In the intervening time, we've attempted to do some additional mapping with our own forces and got about 100 more manholes mapped and inspected with our own forces, but due to illness and shortage of personnel and all, we haven't really been able to progress at a rate that would get the system completely mapped. So we budgeted this year to have some assistance in that. We budgeted $30,000. Have a contract here from Horner and Schifrin for half of that amount, $15,000, that would cover a little over 200 manholes, maybe a little bit more. That would complete the mapping across the north part of town and would begin the mapping in the central part of town. The part that has been finished is the south part of town. So we would recommend approval of this. The contract is structured where they supply the necessary equipment and expertise for it. We supply a man to help open the manhole covers, locate them, and help keep things moving. And so it still involves some of our personnel, but not to the same level. And Horner and Schifrin is supplying the GPS equipment and the other digital equipment to record the information and get it on the GIS for us.
When this is complete, what savings would we see in our sewer system expenses because we've done this project?
It's probably difficult to quantify the exact savings, but what we will have is an up-to-date and current map of all of our sanitary manholes and pipelines with the proper diameters of the pipes and all on them, as well as having inspected all of the manholes and smoke tested all of the systems. So we'll know where our defects are, where we need to continue concentrating with our slip lining and manhole lining. So our savings may ultimately come in our I&I program through being able to make timely repairs and that sort of thing.
Could this also improve the operating of the system into the future in terms of you being able, or let's say Horner and Schifrin, or whoever would study this to look at the flow around the system and see where there are bottlenecks?
Yes, it provides the digital map, if you will, that would allow a hydraulic model to be constructed that would look at flows, would check for bottlenecks and flow, that sort of thing. That could be another step in using the information and the data. It will allow us to provide up-to-date atlas maps with our maintenance crews. We have a sewer call-out. They'll be able to locate the manholes and all much more accurately because we'll have accurate mapping.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I move for reading of Bill number 2016-10.
Second.
Councilman Miller,
Yes.
Councilman Lush,
Yes.
Mayor Miller,
Yes.
Councilman Nichols,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Williams,
Yes.
Bill number 2016-10, a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with Horner and Schifrin Incorporated for the mapping of the sanitary sewer collection system. Whereas the city has a need to complete mapping for the north sewer area and begin the central city area, and whereas the mapping will be completed by Horner and Schifrin Incorporated. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of Mexico, Missouri as follows. Section 1. City manager is hereby authorized to execute on behalf of the City of Mexico an agreement with Horner Schifrin Incorporated. Section 2. This resolution shall be in full force and effect from and after the time of its passage. Move for passage of Bill number 2010-16.
Second.
Councilman Miller,
Yes.
Councilman Lush,
Yes.
Mayor Miller,
Yes.
Councilman Nichols, Chairman Pro Tem Williams,
Yes.
Okay, the next item on the agenda, Bill number 2016-11, a resolution adopting residential refuge rates, say that 4 times, residential refuse rates covering sanitation services beginning April 1, 2016, reading and passage. Mr. Slager?
Yes, Your Honor, this is the time that we do our annual review in regards to the sanitation rates as it relates to the contract for services. At budget time, I think we had indicated to you, we thought we'd be about 2.43%. As you'll find out this evening, we'll be less than that, as now that we have the numbers before us. And to cover the details, we will turn to Roger Haynes.
Good evening, Council. Each year, city staff provides to Council a summary of projected cost associated with operating the sanitation fund for the upcoming 12-month cycle, which begins on April 1st. Staff has taken into consideration annual unit pricing adjustments contained in the residential refuse services contract with Danes Waste Disposal and operating expenses related to all other sanitation programs made available to our residents. Staff provides to Council this evening a base estimated annual expenditure summary for the sanitation fund totaling $577,362 for the 12-month period beginning April 1, 2016 and running through March 31, 2017. To meet the fund's anticipated annual expenditures and maintain a fund balance compliant to our fund balance policy, staff is proposing a monthly service fee increase of 1.9% or 21 cents per month to each residential location served. In support of the fact that our proposed fee for services is priced favorably to our users, staff has provided for Council's review a sanitation rate survey of 15 municipalities covering an approximate 100-mile radius. On average, our proposed rate structure is $3.31 per month less on base rate and $2.58 less per month based on the fuel-adjusted rate cap than the 15 municipalities surveyed. Additionally, our program is more encompassing in total services as compared to several other municipalities surveyed, such as including residential brush processing, a household hazardous waste program, drop-off recycling, both a spring and fall cleanup, and 2 free appliance pickup events. Staff recommends that council approve the attached resolution setting the monthly residential refuse service base rate of $11.32 with a fuel cost adjusted rate cap of $12.05 for the 12-month period beginning April 1, 2016 through March 31st, 2017. Just as a note, in order to reach the $12.05 rate cap, diesel fuel would have to hit $5.90 per gallon. I'd be glad to answer any questions that the council may have.
I have a couple of questions. The contract collection, I noticed $377,380. Do you know what that figure was a year ago?
It's a blend between budget year and this 18 cents less per customer per month. I guess I'll put it
It's
that way.
actually 18 cents less
Last year than it is this year.
this year, okay. So that number has actually gone down compared to the rates we've had a year ago.
No, it's actually gone up.
18 cents less. Last year was 18 cents. It's going up 18 cents.
Oh, I'm sorry, I misinterpreted what you said there. Then, on the brush handling, the city was, am I correct, we were going to subsidize part of that?
Yes, sir. We have, of course, a brush yard operation in the general fund, and of course, some of our brush handling costs are also in the sanitation fund. With the direction that council gave last year during the budgeting process, we tried to keep it to where our total personnel cost and amount that we were allocating to brush grinding within the sanitation fund would be approximately $90,000. To achieve that, we have $10,000 in brush chipping, as you see in this line item, and then we have approximately $79,328 in personnel cost, of which half of that, half the cost of our brush yard operator is paid in this fund, and the other half is paid in the general fund.
So it's not, the citizens of Mexico are not totally paying for all in this particular rate.
That is correct.
Yeah, they're not. You do such a great job of laying all this stuff out. Could I make a suggestion? And you can do it if you want to or not. But I would like to see this sheet have last year's numbers beside it,
Certainly.
like next year when you do this, so we
You
could...
can make a comparison?
Yeah, make comparison and see what the changes are on each one of these items, so we could be able to say, that particular item has caused the rates to go up or down.
Certainly.
That'd
Certainly
be
can.
good. I don't keep these copies, or I would have sat down and compared the two of them.
And again, we were looking at this year a 21-cent increase in rate, 1.9%, of which 18 cents of that 21 cents is actually within the contract with Danes.
So it is Danes.
For the majority, yes.
Majority is Danes, okay. And I think people would understand that.
Sure.
We have a 10-year contract with them, and we have, so much built in each year. And our-
Absolutely, and I'll be glad to break that out next year. And the one thing that we wanted to, as a staff, is point out is how much we provide for the dollar compared to
Yeah.
15 other municipalities in our area.
Well, I was just doing some quick math right here. Our base rate is 20% lower than the average. Just a tad bit over 20%. That's stuff people can relate to when you lose those kind of numbers.
Well, you look at these 15 towns on here, there's only 2 that are below us, and the rest of them are above, and some are, we're at 11.32, and there's $17.25, and there's $17, and so we're considerably under some of the towns around us.
And the asterisk to that for us is the fact that we have Danes, who is right here in town, and he can naturally provide that service to us for a little less than he can other towns that he provides for, from the fact that this is his home base.
Speaking
I've
of
said it
that,
before and I'll say it again, I've never heard anybody say anything bad about Dave. That's something that's remarkable.
Well, I think what we're doing is reaping the benefit of the 10-year contract that you negotiated, and I think it's been great for the citizens of Mexico to have a low rate. As evidenced by this, we do have the lowest rate in some places by a considerable amount. So just another year to be appreciative of that negotiation.
What do the asterisks mean by Moberly and Vandalia?
Vandalia, in visiting with their city clerk, they do not, in their pricing, recoup their administrative cost. And with Moberly, 2 items, that fluctuates also with fuel costs, so we're seeing it as low point right now. And they require blue bags for their trash, which the customers have to go purchase at stores in town at a little bit higher cost than what we have. You know, we're pretty, because of Dane, he's fairly relaxed on his bagging requirements. So again, that
So those
plus
two,
for us.
what's interesting to me is those are the only 2 that are lower than us. And they both have caveats that
Correct.
their citizens actually pay more, but it's just not reflected in that base rate. It says a lot for the city and what you negotiated, and for Dane's taking care of his hometown. So.
Any other questions, comments?
I move for reading of bill number 2016-11.
Second.
Councilman Miller,
Yes.
Councilman Lash,
Yes.
Mayor Miller,
Yes.
Councilman Nichols,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Williams,
Yes. Bill number 2016-11, a resolution adopting residential refuse rates covering sanitation services beginning April 1st, 2016, whereas the City of Mexico contracted with Danes Waste Disposal Incorporated to provide residential sanitation services, and whereas the contract includes annual pricing adjustments that are set to take place April 1st of each year, and whereas in addition to the sanitation services contract, other operating expenses related to sanitation services provided by the city must be properly funded through user fees. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of Mexico, Missouri as follows. Section 1, the base rate for sanitation services will be $11.17 per month plus 15 cents for the landfill post-closure fund, equaling a fee of $11.32 per household. Section 2, the City Council set the monthly base rate for sanitation services in the amount of $11.32 with a fuel cost adjustment rate cap of $12.05 for the 12-month period beginning April 1st, 2016 through March 31st, 2017. This resolution shall be in full force and effect from and after the time of its passage. I move for passage of bill number 2016-11.
Councilman Miller,
Yes.
Councilman Lash,
Yes.
Mayor Miller,
Yes.
Councilman Nichols, Chairman Pro Tem Williams,
Yes.
Okay, under other business, staff report, purchase of a 26-inch self-propelled concrete cutting saw for street maintenance department. Mr. Slagle?
Yes, Your Honor. We have budgeted $16,000 for the purchase of this concrete cutting saw. To cover the bids received, we will turn to Kenzie Russell.
This item of equipment is a replacement item for the concrete saw that we currently have worn out, and which is why we budgeted for it. We had 6 bids come in. The low bid is from Fastenal. It's for a Diamond Vantage saw, which does meet the specifications that we put out, and so we're recommending approval of the purchase from Fastenal for $13,788.64.
I think the obvious question is 5 other bidders bid the same model of a different type of saw.
Yes, they did.
Husqvarna.
The variation of over 10%.
Yes.
It's interesting, yes, they did, and that saw also met our spec, but it wasn't the low bid, so we've recommending the Diamond Vantage saw.
But it does meet our specifications.
Yes,
is that
sir.
correct?
Yes, sir.
And we didn't even have to use a preference for the city to actually do business with the city.
That's correct.
So, awesome deal.
I think it's real interesting that the other bids could go from 14,300 to 16,000, same saw. Quite interesting.
Well, I think that just goes to say that a purchasing policy that requires taking bids can work to our advantage.
What the market will bear on those others, I suppose.
Depends on who's hungry.
Well, you can tell that's from Columbia, St. Louis, Hazelwood, you know, I mean, different market perhaps.
I make a motion to purchase the Diamond Advantage CS 3000.
Second?
Councilman Miller,
Yes.
Councilman Lush,
Yes.
Mayor Miller,
Yes.
Councilman Nichols,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Williams.
Yes.
Next item is the claims.
Make a motion to pay the claims.
Second?
Councilman Miller,
Yes.
Councilman Lush,
Yes.
Mayor Miller,
Yes.
Councilman Nichols,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Williams.
Yes.
Next item is council comments. Councilman Lay.
I don't believe I have anything this evening.
Councilman Williams.
I'm getting my map out, so not on the phone. I just don't want to say the wrong street. I think it's Promenade. Yes. Kinsey, on Promenade, when you come off Agriculture, you turn on a Promenade heading towards the square, that manhole is like got a huge hole. I mean,
That's AT&T's manhole. We've notified them. We actually covered it up with asphalt when they didn't do anything a couple of years ago. They've been in it with some of the fiber optic work they've done, so they dug it back out and left it as a hole. We'll have to put some asphalt on top of it or something, I imagine.
do they have any cost bearing? I mean, do they have any responsibility? I mean, it's pretty, you want to drive over it in your car, especially.
They've been requested to raise it, to level it up. AT&T is almost as difficult to work with as the railroads are.
I understand. I believe that's all I have, sir.
I was just thinking maybe they'll get it same time they lower our signs out there at our sign on 54. Councilman Nichols.
Kinsey, what is the lowest wire on a pole? Is that usually cable and telephone?
Low wire usually is telephone and cable, yeah. Typically, probably cable TV.
Okay. That's good. We were on Carson Street the other day. They've got the wires that are nailed to trees off of the poles. Other wires tangled through the limbs of the tree.
It's probably cable.
Okay. Let's hope it's cable.
But the reception's great.
What was the name of the street?
Carson, off of Robinson Street. And did you ever find anything about the drainage on Lake View, or Lakeside? The cul-de-sac?
We need to open up the end of that, and there's some concrete patching needed. I think it's Lakeside. There's one of those cul-de-sacs over there that needs some concrete patching done too, in there. So there's water that stands because concrete's spalled out, but then there's also the curb line needs to have some cleaning done.
They had the same people that called me back and said, thank you for the Marine Drive street. Yes.
That was a plumbing repair, Flowmaster Plumbing, got that taken
Yes.
care of.
They said, thank you. So yours.
Well, I'd like to apologize to the council and the patrons for missing, but I had to do some work, and it's certainly not my intentions to not be here. But I also kind of have a little announcement that I think is kind of interesting for the City of Mexico. While I was gone, part of what I was doing is, we all know that the Summer Olympics is going to be in South America, and Mexico, Missouri, and M&M Golf Cars bid to provide the rental cars for the Summer Olympics in South America, and we got it. And we are going to containerize, train, ship, and truck to Brazil, and then truck them, boat them, train them back to Mexico, which is kind of a big deal for my employees in my store to provide cars clear out of the country. So That's what I was doing.
Well worth it.
Take off next week again.
Did that come with free tickets?
I keep thinking I should get to go with them. Check for flat tires, but I don't know.
Your Honor, this evening, we would like you to stay after for a few minutes so we can do a group photo for the PAF report for the website. That's all I have.
In the spirit of international cooperation as mayor, I think probably I should go with your cars down there. Apparently
You know,
not.
It's luckily, it's in the summer, and your mayorship might have shipped south.
Well,
I can hear about M&M sent for Miller Miller.
if that's the case, it might be worth it. I don't think I have any comments, so I'll open the floor to public comments. Ask if you do have a comment that you step up to the podium, state your name and address, and try to limit your comments to about 3 minutes if you would, please.
Thomas Fiedler, 1617 Meadow Lane. The last city council meeting, I was unable to attend because I was ill, but there was something I watched them all online, so even whenever I'm not here, I see what you guys do. There was something that stood out to me, and I really wanted to thank especially Mr. Slagle on this. At the end, during the council comment section, Mr. Slagle brought up sending a letter documenting concerns over the water rate increase, the proposed water rate increase, and that is a big deal because that will seriously be a cost that hits every single citizen, and not just in Mexico. I hope other communities realize the same things that we were able to realize here in terms of what was going on with that, and sends out the same types of letters voicing at least caution in doing this. You know, if the rate has to be changed, it has to be changed. Obviously, we need to make sure that we're paying so that we don't end up with black water, because apparently that's a thing now that's in the news, or sulfur in our water like we have up in Flint, Michigan. Like, those are things we obviously don't want, so we want a rate that encompasses not having that. But at the same time, it's good to know that we have due diligence being done here. Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments? Seeing none, I move to adjourn.
Councilman Miller,
Yes.
Councilman Lash,
Yes.
Mayor Miller,
Yes.
Councilman Nichols,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Williams.
Yes.
7 minutes.